Welcome in again to another edition of the Voice of Camp Nathanael here on the campus of Camp Nathanael. That makes sense, doesn't it?
It really does.
Hey, Stephen Bell here. Along with me is the always hilarious and, you know what, I can't think of another adjective.
Lee Sharp.
There you go.
We're jumping Guys, it is summertime.
It is, isn't it?
It's hot outside.
It is hot, man.
Well, except for the mornings, because it's, the mountains and it's cool, and then
A lot of dew.
you dress in layers because your day starts off and you're freezing, and then it's like 90 degrees.
But hey, we got a lot of stuff happening on campus in the midst of all that, don't we?
We do. So many things.
We are right in the middle of our summer camp season. So we're about 2 weeks in already at the time that this is airing, not at the time it's recording, because we have to do this like that. And, let's just reveal all of our secrets right now.
We record these. Hello, people of the future.
That's right.
This is the past. This is the past recording here.
Yes, it is in the middle of our camp season, and we are excited because today we got a very special show today, don't we?
We do. We have some extra guests with us.
We do. We have 3 guests in the studio, and I don't know if we've ever done a show where we've had 3 guests before.
We have not. This is a whole new territory.
3 guests, 2 microphones. We'll see how this works. All right, they're gonna fight over who gets to talk.
There's lots. Sharing is caring.
Is it? Okay, good.
It's going to be today.
It's going to be today. That's right. Hey, we've got 3 of our, I would argue, veteran summer missionaries in here with us this today. And we are going to let them share a little bit as to what it means, what it's like, and even encourage those who would be summer missionaries here at Camp Nathanael. So with us in the studio, we've got Mr. Derek Plitt. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Look at you, all up on that microphone. We're good to go. Awesome. We've got Miss Corrie Bowers. How are you, Corrie?
I'm fantastic today. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. And we've got Miss Sydney Schwenke. How are you?
I'm doing brilliantly.
Brilliantly. That's an adverb, isn't it? Yeah. An LY adverb. Way to use that one. Good job. This is going to be a good show.
She's already elevated the voice of Camp Nathanael. She's using them fancy words.
We just got so smarter. It's going to be great. Well, guys, we got a lot to discuss here in the next probably 25 minutes that we've got with you guys. So Lee's got some questions that he's going to throw at you, and I'm going to chime in from time to time there. But we're excited to get to hear from you guys. The people that hopefully are listening to this, you've got former campers who are going to be able to, really kind of get on the same level with you guys and stuff that you guys are going to talk about. Camp has changed a lot over the years, but a lot of things have stayed the same. We've got potential, maybe summer missionaries who are listening to this that we want you guys to really speak to them too. So, Lee, let's get the conversation started, man.
Let's jump in. So first off, where is everybody from? We'll throw that out there.
All right, I'll start things off. I am from a little city called Coloma. It's in Michigan, southwest Michigan, 15 minutes from the lake. It's beautiful.
Coloma.
Can you show me on the hand thing?
Yeah, so no one else is going to be able to see this.
Yeah,
but,
this is great for our podcast listeners.
Picture it in your mind, guys.
It's about right here.
Right there. It's on the
right
bottom.
here.
The bottom
if
of
you guys
his
can
palm.
see that, it's right here.
Bottom of his palm.
You can see that. It's
picture
right here.
Picture it in your mind, guys.
Oh, Derek, you have such a face for radio.
Oh, thank you.
Michigan people have the hand.
They have the hand.
Yeah. Kentucky, we have Jabba the Hutt. We look just like Jabba the Hutt. That's not we as in our physical person, but our state is the exact shape of Jabba the Hutt.
I never realized that.
No, I think we live in his kidney. I think it's somewhere
down in the bottom corner of.
So Corrie's a Star Wars fan, and so she appreciates that. So Corrie, where are you from?
All right, so I'm from here originally, from Camp Nathanael. I've been here my whole life. My parents, Richard and Beth Ann Bowers, they've been doing the music here for forever. And before that, my grandparents, Dick and Leah Bowers, were here for many, many years. Yeah. We moved 4 years ago to West Virginia, and right now we live in Daniels, which is right outside of Beckley, which is, I think it's the most crime-ridden city in West Virginia.
Congratulations.
So thank you. I feel very special, but yeah.
I set that bar.
Yep. But I feel every summer I want to be back here at camp because this is my second home, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good to be back here.
Awesome. And finally,
Sydney.
Sydney Schwenke.
I've moved 11 times, and
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. It's been a journey. And right now I live in Harlan, Kentucky, where my parents moved to actually be a part of the mission at Camp Nathanael.
Awesome. Good deal.
All
Let's-
right, so
let's
now-
keep
now
going,
We'll
yeah.
keep going here. Okay, so as we're jumping into Camp Nathanael, talking about it being a second home and all of that stuff, what is everyone's first, I would say their first time at camp? Or like how long have you been around camp?
So
How long
yeah.
has camp been a part of your life, or you've been a part of camps, like however you want to phrase it there?
So yeah, there we go. Tell us about your first your first experience with camp, how long it's been, stuff like that.
I mean, I grew up at camp. My grandparents were a part of the mission for forever. I think they just now got out of it. And so they lived on campus. So every Christmas I would come down and spend Christmas on campus at Camp Nathanael. And by the time that I could finally be a camper, I was a camper up until I couldn't be a camper anymore.
Yeah, nice. So you were one of the kids where it was like, oh, when you stand up at the end of the week, they're like, how many years have you been a camper? You're like 18 years old and you've camped for like 25 years.
Right.
You've been one
it
of
feels
those,
like that sometimes.
So, all right, Corey.
All right. Well, I also grew up here. Since my parents did the music here, so really I was here during the summers. And my family homeschooled, so it was like we were always at home or we were at camp.
Yeah.
And so that was always very fun. So I don't have a specific memory of like my first time at camp. I just remember all the summers running around with Riley Feltner and Rachel Feltner and Mandy, Derek's cousin, getting into trouble really, and annoying a lot of the summer staff and a lot of the campers too. But those were good times. It's always been great. And I just remember the intentionality of the staff and how much fun the campers always had. And then at the end of the week when they would share about how much they'd learned, it always was such an amazing thing to hear. So.
And Sydney, you're kind of between these three, you're more of the newbie as far as
I
this goes.
definitely
Yeah.
am. My family visited like once or twice before we started like working. And then we came, for family camp, but it was 2020. Yeah, when my parents first started my parents became part of the mission, and I was on staff for the first time.
Good deal. Awesome, guys. So yeah, we've got you guys have been around the block for a while here. All right. So where are we going, Lee?
So we had a favorite memory. You threw out some of the causing trouble and different things like that. Do you all have any other favorite memories to throw out to camp now?
Oh, gosh.
No, all of the memories that I've had just disappeared. They're gone.
They're
gone
Let me
now.
think about it. For
None
a
that I
second.
can share with you guys.
All the fun things.
There was this wasn't specifically like with campers, but this was with Riley Feltner. She was my buddy, and we always got into trouble.
Riley?
Yeah.
She's throwing you under the bus right now. Here we go.
I am. I don't even know if she remembers this, but we were on the swinging bridge. We had been up on the trail, behind the swinging bridge. It's not there anymore, but the trail that goes up to the White House now. It was the Red House.
Right.
We were looking for sour grass. We were looking for bugs. Playing in the dirt. All that sort of stuff. And Riley freezes, she was in front of me, and she all of a sudden freezes, and I go, what is it? And she says, shh, she really, really quickly, because she doesn't want me to talk. And then all of a sudden she turns around and she bolts all the way back down the hill. She's almost falling down the hill, screaming the entire time. And so I'm like 10 years old, and so I'm running behind her, screaming as well, because that's what one does.
Of course.
And so we're running, we're tripping all the way back across the swinging bridge, and once we get back there, she goes, "I thought I saw a snake."
You thought you saw a snake.
I don't even think it was there, but that was a fun memory.
Good deal. Good deal. Yeah, man. It's really cool just to hear your all's background, how long you've been around here. Some stories that you guys have, but we're going to get into a little bit of a little bit more detailed stuff, some fun stuff as it relates to camp about what your all's favorite stuff is about being around here, and then how we can encourage others to jump on board as well. Let's go.
Y'all are jumping in here. You are in this summer as summer missionaries, which you all have done before. As we said, you all are kind of like the veterans coming in. You've done this for a few years. And so the question that I've got for you, because there's a lot of jobs that you take on as a summer missionary.
Can we ask, how many summers have you guys served as summer missionaries? Any idea?
1.
No, are you kidding me?
No, it's only been 1. This is my second year.
What?
I know. That's why I'm saying I'm always around,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just not working. Really, I'm doing it for free.
So I'm glad we finally put him to work.
Well, yeah, it's about time. Apparently,
we've been hanging around this whole time.
So he's a veteran just from the camp atmosphere and the physical presence here, but yeah. Well, anywho, okay, Derek served for 1 year. All right.
All right, what else we got?
Okay,
So much for Sydney being the newbie. Gosh.
Corey's over here doing math in her head.
I know I'm not that good at it. So no, I think this is my 4th year. I'm starting my 4th year working this summer. Yes.
We started together,
We did? Okay.
actually.
Yeah.
Oh, Derek, you're such a poser, man.
Take
Sorry.
that, Derek.
I'm sorry. You kept on talking about veterans. I'm like, do I tell him or?
It's all coming out now.
He's too far in at this point.
Oh yeah, we're too far gone, man.
He's too far in.
Listen, we're 11 minutes into this podcast. We're not going back now.
Oh, goodness.
Can't replace me now.
No way.
All right, so in all of the jobs that you have taken on, because there's a myriad of jobs that you take when you come to camp here, everything from helping out at the pool to doing gym stuff to counseling.
I like how you're talking to Corrie and Sydney now, no longer talking to Derek.
starting fires, all of the different things. What is your favorite camp job? If you had to pick down one, it's like, this is the best thing. If you get assigned to this particular job, what is that job?
I love creek stomping. Basically, there's no stomping. We're gently hiking through the creek so that the campers can look for wildlife. They catch salamanders and crawdads, and it's really fun. And there's a really close connection to hey, this is fun, God's creator, and they just get to be in awe of nature and absolutely devoured by mosquitoes. So it's really good.
Yeah, been there.
Mosquitoes.
That's true, man. That's true.
I'm glad we go with creek stomping though, because I just feel like it doesn't sell quite as well.
Creek hiking.
That's true.
Softly walk through the creek.
But it is really cool, man.
It is a lot of fun.
It is really, just like Sydney was saying, just being able to. It's such an easy end to communicate God's beauty and creation and God's creativity and everything. So it's really, really cool. Creek stomping, I support it.
As long as you don't get pinched either.
As long as you don't get pinched by a crawdad.
Or have that camper that tries to steal salamanders in their pocket.
In their pockets.
We've had it before. Or drink boot water.
Oh God.
That's happened multiple times.
Jimmy. It's
It was
the
Jimmy.
same camper every year.
We're throwing it under the bus.
They just called out. Don't you dare say a last name at this point.
My bad.
Sorry. We all know who we're talking about.
All right. Corrie, what about you?
I would probably say music. I'd probably say during the chapels, and I know we've switched it up a little bit, but before it used to be that we'd have music hour where the campers, any camper who wanted to, could come up and they could sing their favorite song. They could play the piano. They could play the guitar. They could just make a joyful noise unto the Lord, which I think is so much. I think it's so much fun. It's so important because we're seeing these fun songs, these silly songs, but then we also sing more serious songs that are worship songs, and I think that's just such a neat thing to be able to be a part of.
Yeah,
just to praise God.
So leading music time, heading up creek stomping. Derek, in all your years.
In all of my years, I would have to say team leading is probably my favorite. For those listening who may not know what team leading is, how about you explain that a little bit for us too? So during the week, campers are divided up into 4 different teams, and then throughout the week, there's various different ways that they're able to earn points for their teams, whether it's through the recreation or saying Bible verses. And then at the end, they're all tallied up, and then there's a winner.
Yep.
Essentially. But each of those teams needs a leader, and that is my favorite job, is to lead those teams, because you're just a giant cheerleader just encouraging those kids. And my biggest goal as a team leader is to have fun while losing.
Yeah. Okay, that works. Have fun while losing.
That's kind of hard to do too.
Because
if you're losing, you're like, this is not enjoyable.
Have you ever won?
I'm undefeated.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Because you've
Then
only
how
been
do
at
you
it
have
1
fun
year.
while losing?
You know.
Do we?
Look, I just said it's a goal. You know, just because I haven't
you don't
done
have
it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
You don't
okay.
have to win every battle to.
No, but hey, if you can, apparently. Well done. Hope. Let's see if are you going to team lead this summer?
I really hope so.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, what are some of your all's jobs gonna be this summer, or do we know yet?
Do you know? Do you have a preference?
We just know what training we've been put through and where we might be
Well,
placed.
So you'll probably be a counselor.
I hope
leading
I'm a
some
counselor,
activities.
yeah.
Good
this,
deal.
This actually will be my first time counseling this summer since I just graduated high school.
Yeah.
I'm
Nice.
very excited to counsel.
It's so good.
I know.
I'll probably be counselor, team leader, weed eater.
Yep.
Weed
That's how it
whacker.
works.
It's
Yep.
weed eating.
No, I know he says weed whacker.
Yeah, but I know my audience.
Is that a Michigan thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Got it. All right. Awesome.
Michigan things. All right, so the theme this summer. I think have we talked about the theme this summer on the podcast?
I don't think we have, to be perfectly honest.
We may have mentioned the name, but the theme this summer is going to be Challenge Accepted.
Yep.
And we
Coming
have
from 1 Peter 3:15,
Mhm.
correct? And
has anybody got that verse memorized yet?
putting you on the spot.
Oh,
Somebody go
Okay,
for
we
it.
got a
Go
tag
for it,
team.
go
All right,
for
all right,
it,
we'll
yeah.
tag team. Okay, so 1 Peter 3:15. But sanctify the Lord God in your hearts, and always be ready to give a defense to everyone who asks you a reason for the hope that is in you,
but do it with
meekness and with fear.
Hey,
There we
good
go.
job.
We're
So,
perfect. We got it.
in case anybody forgets, we are Scripture Memory Mountain.
That's right,
Mission.
that's
So
right.
they were doing that without. There was no phone lookup. There was no
nope, that
Bible
was
in
right
front of
off the
them.
top
That
of
was
their
off
heads,
the
man.
top of their heads.
We don't have our phones.
Good job,
Throw
ladies.
that in there.
So go on and ask us here, just because as we're getting into the theme, what does sanctified mean? Anything we want to
I
throw
mean,
out
it's
there?
being made more like Christ through Spirit,
Yep.
like trial by fire kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's the
good.
goal. That's the goal this
That's
summer.
right.
Is that every camper that comes here this summer is able to encounter Jesus, and if they're already following him, able to lift him up and become even more like him. Or if
That's
they
right.
if they haven't had the chance to give their life over, then that's step one.
That's right, man.
So on the journey. So that's going to be the goal this summer.
Absolutely. To sanctify Christ in your heart, sanctify Christ as Lord in your heart, to set him apart, to become more like Jesus means, consequently becoming less like ourselves. And so we have to be willing, Jesus even said, die to yourself and put off the old man, put on the new. So all of that is in place. So that's what kids are being challenged with this summer. It's exciting stuff.
So as you all are, we've obviously been talking about the different jobs, and you've been talking about doing some camp counselor and whatnot. And you all have been to camp and been campers before. I'll go on and ask this question here because it feels like something that's going to tie into all of this. But who was your favorite camp counselor when you were here? Because obviously you all didn't just like wake up one day and be like, you know what I really want to do today? I really want to go work at Camp Nathanael. Obviously, some people had some impact over your lives, and I'm sure there's multiple people.
All right, so Derek and Corrie have been here the longest. Now, Sydney, did you ever come to camp before your family started coming here at all?
No.
Okay, so
Just for a visit, but I was never a camper.
got it. So Derek and Corrie, you guys, how old are you guys now?
22.
22. So you've been coming to camp for 30 years. All right.
I'm a little younger, 18.
18. So
So
you've
maybe
been here
like
for about
25
25.
years.
All right, good deal. So we've got a lot of experience in the room.
This is one of those, and you know how they have the entry level jobs,
Yep.
and then they say, "Hey, this is an entry level job, and you need to have 20 years of experience."
Right.
We have them.
It's here.
We have them. They somehow have more years of experience than life.
So obviously you guys have had a lot of counselors over the years that you've been staying in these cabins, and so yeah, who maybe they're listening right now. Who knows who's listening to us. Who would your favorite counselor have been?
Oh, there's so many to choose from. But I would say that the most memorable one would be Cameron McIntyre.
That means if you've ever been Derek's counselor, he likes Cameron more than you.
I'm
I'm
so
totally
sorry
kidding.
to everyone else. I'm not saying you guys were bad. I'm just saying most memorable. But it was just an awesome time because that was my senior year of high school, and I was just going through a lot at that point. There was a lot of decisions that needed to be made, and he really helped me through a lot of that.
And what's crazy is, well, first of all, Cameron's your cousin.
Yeah.
So that's got a family tie there. And second of all, Cameron is now on full-time staff here at Camp Nathanael, and he's the one who edits this podcast.
Hey, Cameron.
Hi, Cameron.
Aw, it had like a sentimental moment for Cameron.
Sound effect. No.
Add a sound effect in there, Cameron.
Wait a minute, I've got something.
Some sort of.
I don't know which one.
Just do it.
No, that's the wrong one. All right, I was hoping I hit the right one there. I did.
Wrong button.
That was the right one.
That was the right one. Corrie.
All right. I have, like Derek said, I have had a lot of memorable counselors over the years, but probably the two that have been most influential in my life are Abigail Dingus and Sandra Hoskins, just because they have such a joy for the Lord, and you can tell it in the way, even like in the mornings when they're waking us up to get ready to go to breakfast, even though it's the crack of dawn. But they have so much joy and so much energy for the Lord, and they want to show that to others. And so that really just hit with me personally, because they took time, both of them took time to talk to me, even though they had a cabin full of other girls who also had needs. But just their intentionality is what really, really sticks out in my mind the most. And I really appreciate that about them. So.
Good. Sydney.
Yeah, like Corey, mine is, I definitely say Abigail Dingus. She was my counselor 3 out of 3 years.
For the record, she's not a dingus anymore, right?
No, she's
Didn't
a
she get
Brandon.
married?
Yeah,
Yeah,
recently
she got
married.
But
so sorry, Abby. I know you're married now.
I mean, she just got married like, what, 2 weeks ago or 2 or 3 weeks? Yeah.
I was there.
Me
Oh,
too.
you were there.
Yeah,
You were there.
You were there.
yeah. And that just goes to show like how great of a friend she is to me. I remember last year she had 110 written on her hand, and I asked her what it meant, and she was like, I want to give like more than my all to you guys. She was completely all in, and we could definitely see that through her actions and the way she was loving to us. So yeah.
Very cool.
Shout out Abby.
Very cool. Well, we do we have any more questions at the moment?
I have one less serious question, but it is.
You have
it
one less.
It can be a serious question.
Okay. Well, I'm intrigued.
All right. So
We've got time. Let's go.
We talk about camp as we talk about summer camp, and we talk about all the different activities. Something that constantly comes up, at least on our podcast, is the food.
Yeah.
The food at camp is far and above beyond anything that. Yes.
Clarkie is superior.
Okay, hang on. Everybody needs to understand, before we went on the air, all right, I realized that I've got buttons here that already have pre-recorded sound effects in them. We've never used them in any show prior to this one.
We didn't know that we could push them.
But now that we have them, I'm fighting back every temptation to just push buttons right now.
All the time.
Anywho, all right, we're talking.
Camp food. Camp food has always been really good. And so I have to ask, what is, in your all's opinion here, what is the best Camp Nathanael meal? When you go down to the dining hall and you look at what's on the buffet table and you go, this is going to be the greatest meal of the entire week.
First of all, people listening have to understand. Number one, they can't understand how difficult of a question this is. All right. This is an extremely difficult question to answer, considering the amount of food and the type of food that you eat when you come here to camp. I've never ever heard someone leave camp and say that they were hungry. Nope.
No.
Not a chance.
Never happened.
All right, guys. So question of the day, apparently. What's the best meal at camp?
Okay, just to preface this, if there's any food that I don't like, I come to camp, and if it's on the table and if Clarkie made it, I will like it. That's how good the food is. It's amazing. And every meal is like phenomenal. So
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know.
Ranch chicken.
I would say ranch chicken. Yeah, ranch chicken and mashed potatoes with the gravy on top. Oh yes, it is mouth-watering.
I'm salivating.
Yes.
The ranch chicken. I was asking him the other day how you make the crust of the what it's called, whatever you
Oh, the breading.
the breading.
Yeah,
That's
the
what I'm
word
looking for.
it.
And the main part of the breading is actually cornflakes. It's cornflakes. Cornflakes, dry ranch seasoning,
No,
and so
That's how
it's
my mom makes fried
that's
chicken.
cornflakes.
cornflakes.
Like
yeah.
the cereal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not like Frosted Flakes. Like cornflakes.
I don't know.
Frosted ranch.
The
chicken?
first time that I heard it was cornflakes, I was like, "Oh, we could Lucky Charm this thing up right now."
Oh no.
We could.
Oh,
We
my
could.
word.
There's so many. It's limitless at this point. Cinnamon toast crunch that chicken. I'm not saying
sounds
any of those
good.
would. I'm not saying any of those would necessarily be good. But if he were to pull out a Count Chocula, I'm done. All right. I'm like, this is it. I can die happy now. So, anywho, yes, ranch chicken, very, very good. Derek, what do you got?
I'm still going with ranch chicken.
Really?
You give me a
Wow,
tray full of
right
those
across-
bad boys, it's done. It's over.
Oh man, I think the chicken sandwiches are obviously a popular hit. Anytime, and we're not talking, frozen perfect circle shaped chicken patties. All right, we're talking like chicken patties the size of your hand. Or what do y'all say? Oh, you got a story?
we have-
We have another contender.
Oh, another contender.
Apple dumplings.
Oh gosh,
Apple
yeah.
dumplings.
Okay,
with the ice cream.
all right. Yep, game changer right there.
Biscuits and
They make
gravy.
them with like
Yes.
Mountain Dew.
Yes.
It's like apples and sugar and cinnamon and Mountain Dew wrapped in like a
They make that with Mountain Dew?
yeah.
Are you
A lot of
serious?
Mountain Dew and butter.
A lot of
I
Mountain
watched
Dew
them
and
make
butter.
it one time. I was in awe.
And it's delicious.
It
is
delicious.
really
It's
good.
mouth-watering.
Yeah, that's the thing. I actually, I looked at Clark the other day. I was like, dude, do you make a dessert for every meal? And he's like, well, not for breakfast. I'm like, well, you have yogurt and fruit and stuff. That would be somewhat considered a dessert. And he's looked at me like, well, I guess so. Like, all right, man. Good deal. Well, guys, listen, hey, we appreciate you all so much taking time out of your day. I know right now there's just a lot going on during the day, but we're very thankful that you guys were able to come in here and sit down and chat with us for a little bit and to let us know what's going on for what's going on during the summer. But we want to kind of bring this to a close by giving you guys a chance to kind of talk to anyone who would potentially be like, hey, you know what? I would love to be a summer missionary here at camp. What can they expect? And first of all, what can they expect? How does that process kind of work? Because it is kind of an in-depth process, and we're very intentional in that. Mm-hmm. We're very thankful for that. I mean, the reality is nobody can just anybody can't just show up and be a summer missionary. You guys, the bar is high, okay? And then, so explain to us that process a little bit. And then, how would you encourage someone who's seriously considering jumping on board as summer missionary?
Okay, everyone's looking at me. Yeah, so the application process, you just go online, find the application. It's really, really, really long. But like they said, it's worth it because then like the people you're surrounded with are solid and you know that they're here because they were chosen to be here. And I'm incredibly grateful for that. Like Corrie and I were working together yesterday and just had an amazing conversation about devotions and walking in Christ likeness while we were like sweeping. And it was so good because it was a delight to me.
Yeah, but I would say about the same thing that Sydney said. It is a long process. It's very in-depth. But I would seriously consider taking the time to do it because it is so worth it. If you are someone who loves the Lord, if you're someone who loves working with kids, this is definitely the place to be. If you're a hard worker, and you always, whatever you put in, you're going to get back so much more because it's not us that's doing it. It's God. It's God who's doing the work this summer. And just being able to be around these campers and to invest in their lives and just to see how much God has changed them and ultimately changing us. So that is just an amazing thing to see.
I've been told by some of the summer missionaries that have come in that the application process, it forces you to stop and slow down and like evaluate your life and what you're doing with your life. And asking all of those questions that most of the time we just in normal life we don't think about. We're just going about our day. We're going to school. We're going to work. We're doing all these other sort of things. We never stop and go, you know what? Like, what about this part of my life? Or what about that part of my life? And how is Jesus working in this or this or this? And so even in that, like the application process can be a sanctifying
for sure.
Exactly.
exercise.
Derek, you're up.
I mean, what more can I say? They really summed it all up. It can be terrifying once you look at it, but once you realize why it's like that, it makes so much more sense. And it helps you realize, like, okay, we are all here for the same purpose.
Yeah.
There's not just a guy who is filling out random applications for every summer camp in Southeast Kentucky. So really
That's good.
Do it.
So how would you encourage them? Like if there's somebody who's like, they're kind of on the fence, maybe they've been to camp before and they're like, oh, well, that maybe I could do something like that. Like how would you encourage that person? Would they need to reach out to somebody, talk to somebody, pray about, how would you encourage them?
If you feel the Lord tugging at your heart to work at camp, then you need to take that leap of faith.
And don't be afraid either, just because the community here is so good. Like a lot of us have been here for a long time, but there's still so many new people every year that are instantly like grafted into the community. And I think that's a testament to the Holy Spirit working in us. And
We have currently, and correct me if I'm wrong, we have 31 summer missionaries this summer. I think like 16 guys, 15 girls, I think is how the breakdown works there. So it's pretty much split up the middle. And man, look, it's a great opportunity. No, you're not coming here to get paid. You're kind of sorry, I had to take the opportunity to do that.
Track.
the laugh track, right? But that's not the reason. They allow. It's funny, but they don't come here for that. They come here for the reality of. They understand the seriousness of communicating the gospel to children. They understand the opportunity that they're going to have to get the message of Jesus Christ into the ears, the hearts, the lives of so many people to come through here during the summer. And they're storing up eternal rewards, which is going to far outshine any material gain that they could ever get doing anything else during the summer. So guys, thank you for giving of yourself for these 2 months that you're here, and we're excited to see what God does through you. Hey, if you're interested in getting more information in regards to Camp Nathanael, you can go online, campnathanael.org. That's Nathan-Nael. You can also follow Camp on Facebook, on Instagram. You can check us out on YouTube, various social media sites to get more information on how you can potentially come and be part of Camp Nathanael here during the summer. This has kind of been a joint, not just the interview, but also the camp portion. Yeah. So it's a little bit different. We didn't divide it up this time, but I think we're good to go, man, for another show.
We're good to go. We'll have some more summer missionaries on here.
Yeah, we're gonna bring some of the newbies in. So, I mean, some of the real newbies, not the newbie posers over here. That have.
Hey guys.
I've been around camp forever. I've only worked one summer, but I've been around camp forever.
Oops.
It all comes out, man. No, man. Hey, we appreciate you guys so much. We're so thankful for you. Thanks for jumping in with us today.
Thanks for this opportunity.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Anything to add, man, before we're out?
Thanks, everybody, for listening in. Remember, share with your friends. That's how we get the word out, and you can learn more about all the things happening at camp and keeping up with the Voice of Camp Nathanael.
All right, guys. Everybody have a great week, and we'll see you back here on July 1st.
Yep, a couple weeks.